Jay, you also mentioned on your YouTube channel that there was an article on Final Draft, and it was quite beneficial for you. It was from an Oakland screenwriter who used to be a rapper, I guess, Saeed Crumpler.
Right, yeah.
And it was called Against All Odds, How a Black Writer from the Bay Area Queried His Way to Being Repped. Again, that's Saeed Crumpler. So he had some tips, and it was beautifully written. Do you want to go over any of them? Or
Yeah. You know, Saeed's article was very, very helpful. And, you know, following his tips is what has led to the requests that I've gotten so far for my script. One of the one of the things that he said, which I hesitated in doing, but he's just like, use every tool in your toolkit. Like, you've got to, you know, go for it. Just like, mention that you're a Black writer, you know, or mention, you know, if you are a queer writer, or, you know, a Latino writer, or what have you. You know, use that to your advantage. You know, mention, you know, if you're a woman writer, because managers are looking to diversify their roster. So it just makes sense, you know, lead with something like that. And it's just like, okay, you know, let me see what this person may have to offer. Another tip was just to keep it short. Queries that I had drafted before reading this article were way too long, way too long. You know, paragraphs upon paragraphs. It's just like, this isn't good. You know, I'm sitting here thinking that, all right, a 5 or 6 paragraph query is cool. And it's not. You know, so it's just like intro, logline, outro. Thank you. You know, with your contact information, of course. And I followed that template as well. So it's, you know, quick intro, you know, hi, I'm an emerging Black screenwriter, and I've got a script that I think you'd like to read. Here's the log line. Thank you for your time and consideration. J Fingers, phone number, email address. Like, seriously, like, keep it short. And again, it's been something that I think works. You know, I know that these people, their time is limited. They're getting a query, they're getting an email from someone that's unfamiliar to them, and they want to be out of that email as soon as possible. So if you can accommodate them, then I think they'll be more receptive to saying, okay, yeah, sure. You got to have a strong log line. That was another thing. Make sure your log line is tight. And, you know, he did give tips on ensuring that the log line works. And those were tips that I applied to my log line, you know, like the restructuring and finding that one tidbit that would like capture someone's attention. And yeah, like I said, I think it works because I've gotten several requests for my script.
I think Saeed also said number 2, make it personal. Don't just put dear manager.
Yeah, I mean, I think that goes without saying. You definitely want to make it personable, you know, not your, you know, hi sir, hi ma'am, dear manager. And, you know, another thing, even something as simple as hi or hey, you know, if you use a manager, you know, hey Karen, you know, seriously, you know, it works. It really works because it establishes that rapport right away, you know, right away. So
right. Yeah. Those are great tips. Yeah, great. And we'll put a link to that, and then we'll also put a link to your video too, because you talked about it on your channel. Cool. How many query letters have you sent out since you've been in LA?
Gosh, I've probably sent out between 20 and 25, I'll say. Yeah.
And these are emails or U.S. mail?
Yeah, these are emails.
Emails. Okay, so we don't do.
I haven't done the snail mail thing. There is a manager out there who I think prefers snail mail. But I haven't queried that manager. But yeah, sending out emails.
So you've done about, you said 20?
About 20 to 25, probably closer to 20, yeah.
And you definitely got the one response back. Any others besides that one?
Yeah, I mean, I've probably gotten about 8 responses. Yeah, probably about 8 responses.
When you get these responses back, do you put these in, let's say, an Excel document where you know to follow up with this person in a year or whenever?
Right, right. Yeah, so I do have a spreadsheet, and I've got the manager's name, the company that they work for, their email address, the type of manager that they are. Like if they specialize in like TV, or features, because features is really my thing. So I'm kind of focused on that. But there may be some managers who, diversify. They're looking for kind of everything. So I do note that. I do have the date that I query, a follow-up date, and just like a little space to note what kind of response, if any.
And what do you think is the acceptable amount of time to send out a new query letter with a new project?
I'm honestly not sure, because this is the first query, like round of querying that I'm doing, and I don't want to follow up with a new project so soon, like after like a pass or what have you. Like one manager, they were just like, this project isn't for us, but feel free to reach out to us with, anything else you may have. I didn't know, I just knew that meant the door was open to query again, but I didn't know if that meant next week or give them some time. So, I want to give some time before I do that. As far as like follow-ups, I'm thinking that maybe like 2 months is a good window. So with that in mind, if I'm just going to query, like, pitch like a whole new script or what have you, then I'd probably extend the wait time to maybe like 6 months.
And is that something that's beneficial, I guess, with your writers group, is you can talk to these other writers and find out what is industry protocol?
Definitely. Yeah. And not just with them, but with other writers that I know, the screenwriting Twitter community.
Well, that's true.
So yeah.
Right. Because I would imagine it does hurt if you're too insistent.
Yeah. I think it could come across as maybe seeming desperate, and that's not, my goal is not to, aggravate anyone. I want to build a meaningful relationship and, build a nice rapport with people. So if the door is left open to, maybe query, with another project, okay, cool. I'm going to give you some time though, before I bother you again.
What are your thoughts on query letters?
To be honest, I'm still not a fan. But I do understand. And now that I understand, and now that I feel comfortable in crafting query letters, I feel like that's a tool in my toolkit that I can definitely use. They're not as bad as log lines, but no, query letters, I questioned the effectiveness of them before, but that's only because my attempts were just terrible. Like I said, now that I feel that I can craft a good query letter and, get a response, I certainly understand why they work.
Well, because someone wouldn't send their work blind without something on top. It's just like you probably wouldn't want to send a resume without some type of cover letter.
Right, exactly.